Point 1. Give stress a chance to mend its bad reputation. The most fascinating studies are the ones that challenge well-established and long-standing ideas, beliefs, and facts. This summary will give you the opportunity to question some common beliefs about the dangers of stress. The research will focus on states that, contrary to popular belief, stress does not necessarily lead to disease, unhappiness, or premature death. In fact, stress can even be beneficial. For example, it helps you become more successful. It allows you to develop your skills and personality. It gives you empathy, strength, and willpower. Whether stress is bad for you depends mainly on how you perceive it. You can reap significant advantages if you focus on how you experience and make sense of your life challenges, rather than how to eliminate or reduce them. Rethinking the notion of stress and its consequences will give you the following benefits: more resiliency when facing challenges, tools to avoid burnout and exhaustion, the ability to replace feelings of loneliness with a sense of belonging and community, realization of your central values and purposes in life. As strange as it sounds, you are in a relationship with stress and can influence its dynamic, for example, a tyrant-victim bond, or you could be part of an avoidant and anxious couple. You may treat stress as an enemy, but it can also be your trusted ally, supporting you in times of crisis and facilitating your growth. The concept of stress is so broad that you can reduce it to an ironic formula. To be stressed is to be alive. So, before you label stress as a curse, explore its hidden side in this summary and discover how it can become a blessing in disguise. Let's bust the myths of stress. Key point 2. Be careful with your thoughts. They are material. How you respond to stress determines how you experience life in general. It includes your psychological and physical responses to problems and your way of dealing with them. Learning to view stress as an opportunity rather than an obstacle will expand your understanding of what you can control and deal with. This skill, in turn, will allow you to see yourself as a stronger, more resilient, and capable person. Your beliefs, thought patterns, and expectations shape your reality. Every change begins with a thought, and contrary to prejudice, this is more than just a catchy phrase. Scientific evidence supports this idea, and it will surprise you. When stressed, your body releases the hormones cortisol and DHEA, which work in pairs. Cortisol gives you extra energy in critical situations while also slowing down irrelevant physiological processes in case of danger, those associated with reproduction or digestion. On the contrary, DHEA allows you to recover from the peak point of stress and benefit from what happened. It promotes brain function and wound healing and strengthens the immune system. The ratio of these two hormones plays a decisive role in the consequences of your nervous tension. If cortisol prevails, the likelihood of depression, anxiety, and different illnesses increases. However, the higher the DHEA, the greater your resilience to emergencies, ability to learn, and endurance. So it predetermines your capacity to recover and emerge from difficulties unscathed and transformed for the better. And that's the whole point. You can influence the ratio of these hormones with the power of your mind. Believing that overcoming problems is your tool for development can affect your body's physical response. Thus, with thought's help, you create a new biological reality. The effect you expect is the effect you get. Kelly McGonigal. Though similar, this approach is not a placebo effect, it's a mindset effect. While the former is a sprint and a one-time deal, the latter is a marathon focusing on long-term results. It consists of the beliefs that shape your worldview and influences how you make choices and reflect. The mindset effect triggers biological processes that regulate your happiness and contentment with life, health, and longevity. Isn't the mind fascinating? Let's push on and discover more. Did you know? People who think positively about aging live an average of 8 years longer than those who fear it. Key point 3. Positive expectations inspire better actions. The main secret of the power of thinking is that it shapes your behavior patterns. For example, thinking about a happy old age and long life is more likely to push you to care for yourself from a young age than believing you will not live past 60. A positive outlook on aging motivates you to adopt good habits and a healthy lifestyle. Even in the face of illness or injury, you will have more desire and determination to recover, taking all the necessary actions. On the contrary, people afraid of aging expect only misfortune from it, monitor their health and body condition much less, and consider life meaningless and their future doomed. In a similar fundamental way, your idea of stress can affect you as well. There are two main settings. 1. Stress kills you. 2. Stress makes you stronger. Although the first belief is much more popular, the second is more effective. It all comes down to our response. A positive perception of problematic situations makes you see them as a challenge you will overcome and from which you gain valuable experience. A negative outlook, on the other hand, treats these problems as overwhelming and damaging. Subsequently, you begin doubting your abilities and stop looking for meaning and significance in your upcoming challenges. However, a leisurely attitude towards hassle does not mean ignoring the difficulties. It means being aware of, enduring, and accepting stress. For example, in unpleasant situations, the plan of action may be as 1. Investigate what happened. 2. Make a plan to solve the problem. 3. Reach out to people close to you for help and support. 4. Do everything in your power to resolve the difficulty. 5. Analyze and learn from the situation. But if you are afraid of stress, then you will most likely try to avoid it and resort to other methods like distracting yourself from the problem by turning your attention to other things, fighting feelings of nervousness instead of the cause, seeking solace in alcohol, games, smoking, and so on, letting go of goals and desires that have led to stress. Your perception of stress is a self-fulfilling prophecy. What you envision is what you get. Indeed, two different approaches will yield two different outcomes. By embracing the fact that stress can be beneficial, you mobilize your body and mind to overcome obstacles that hinder your well-being, thus empowering you to take control of your life, reclaim responsibility, and reconnect with your inner strength. Point 4. Built-in responses to stress. Stress owes its notoriety to Dr. Hans Selye, who studied its dangers and influence on lab rats. These experiments brought him fame and recognition in the world of science, with 10 nominations for the Nobel Prize. Ironically, he made decent money writing scientific articles on the threats of stress, for which the tobacco business generously paid him. Naturally, it is easier for people to perceive lopsided precise information. So no one listened when Selye later spoke about eustress, beneficial stress, as a valuable alternative to stress. Further research by his followers confirmed his idea. It turned out, for example, that a nervous experience of a pregnant woman does not necessarily harm her fetus. On the contrary, a child is likely to be born with a more developed brain and a stable nervous system. The baby gains better immunity by experiencing the effects of stress hormones in the womb. With all due respect to Dr. Selye, studying rats does not provide a complete understanding of how something affects people. Humans display a more comprehensive range of behavioral responses to stress compared to other animals. Animals react to danger according to the fight or flight principle. Their bodies release adrenaline and are ready to fight for survival. The human body also has this instinct, but evolution has adapted it for current conditions. In daily life, stress rarely involves an immediate lethal threat that would warrant a fight or flight response. It does not apply to everyday family problems or difficulties at work. Fortunately, the human body has other strategies at its disposal. Stress hormones can give you supernatural physical strength at a critical moment, but can also make you more caring, kinder, and gentler. It sounds strange, so let's further explore this idea. One of our biological survival strategies is establishing close social ties rather than resisting danger alone. Depending on the problem, your body activates different reactions. If somebody attacks you, you can respond with aggression to defend yourself. But when taking exams, stress awakens another way of coping, accepting the challenge, believing in yourself, and working tirelessly. And there is another response you've probably never thought of: care and make friends, which manifests itself when you become more sympathetic and attentive to others after experiencing common difficulties. Did you know? Images and warnings about the risks of smoking have the opposite effect. The fear and anxiety evoked by the pictures on cigarette packs can lead people to smoke to calm themselves down. Key point 5. Stress makes you the best version of yourself. In a critical situation, the body gives you extra energy. All your senses sharpen, and your brain processes the information intensively. Your thoughts focus on danger while everything else fades. Doing so gives you a powerful release of happiness hormones and encouragement to cope with a difficult situation. That is why some people, such as motorcyclists or those who jump with a parachute, like to annoy themselves and take risks deliberately. They get a strong surge of emotions and become voluntarily dependent on them. This type of stress response carries the name excite and delight. Another way of experiencing stress involves accepting a challenge. It also boosts energy and sharpens your brain. But in this case, you don't feel fear. Instead, you are focused and diligent. It is typical for athletes, surgeons, or musicians who respond to a challenge with complete absorption in their tasks, endurance, and focus. Oddly enough, they are most effective not in a state of calm and peace, but under the pressure of responsibility, limited time, and grand ambitions. This type of stress provides intensive recovery and significant acquisition of new skills. The most non-obvious and thrilling reaction to stress is the one that strengthens your connections with other people. The leading actor in this process is the hormone oxytocin, known as the catalyst for attachment, which manifests itself in pleasant tactile sensations like hugs. Its purpose is to encourage you to create meaningful contacts. It boosts your empathy and intuition to help you better understand others, while also giving you a sense of trust and worth, so you will welcome and appreciate the care provided to you. Oxytocin nourishes your heart with kindness and love, and literally makes it stronger, reducing the chance of a heart attack. What you probably don't know about oxytocin is that it not only pushes you into the arms of the people you love, but also encourages you to defend them. This chemical makes you selfless, bold, and courageous. It suppresses your fear and desire to escape when in danger. When something terrible or unfair happens, you put all your energy into supporting your family and community. So, your natural stress response here is communicating, comforting, and assisting others. Helping others can transform fear into bravery and powerlessness into optimism. Kelly McGonigal. Key point 6. Experience inoculates you against stress. After a stressful situation, physical and moral recovery starts. Please be aware that this process may not be speedy. A few hours after the peak of tension, your brain replays everything that happened, so switching your attention to something else will be challenging. During this period, you actively engage your memory and ability to analyze and learn. You will likely want to tell someone about your experience, pray, or cry. Don't be afraid of your emotions, and express them in a safe and nonviolent way, no matter how varied and intense they may be. Your feelings at this moment help construct your newfound experience and give it sense. Rest assured and take comfort in knowing that you can tackle future challenges with greater ease and confidence with effective stress management. Soldiers, rescuers, and athletes are trained according to this simple principle. By courageously facing challenges head-on, without avoidance, your body becomes attuned to respond accurately and appropriately to the demands of a stressful environment. To some extent, your reactions to stress can be predetermined, for example, by childhood experience. If you've ever been seriously ill and dependent on others, you'll have a better developed care and make friends response. In this case, you can easily ask for support and accept help. But if somebody physically or emotionally abused you as a child, you are likely to shut down and deal with your problems independently as an adult. In such a case, you will react to stress by accepting the challenge or by using a fight-or-flight strategy. Moreover, some people may have innate predispositions to different stress reactions. You can be genetically more sensitive to experiences, or vice versa, tolerant of them. High susceptibility to stress can cause anxiety and depression. Still, it is a powerful catalyst for personal development and can be sublimated into creativity or other aspects of life to help you reach success. Making sense of the pain you experience can make you stronger, more compassionate, and more profound. It is essential to remember that no predisposition determines your fate. Nature data correlates with what you experience along the way and how you choose to deal with it. The system of reactions to stress is adaptive, and it's up to you to regulate it. Conclusion. Psychological trauma can leave you distrustful, anxious, and feeling like the world is an unsafe, hostile place. But this does not mean you are broken and unable to withstand stress. Hold on to the idea that these changes in your sense of life are your body's adaptation strategy to help you get through what happened. It is not forever. You can replace a negative experience with a positive one. Practicing healthy and appropriate responses to stress will allow you to form new habits and teach your body to act to your advantage in critical situations. The stress response is far from useless baggage. It highlights your values, goals, and main interests. You can't help but worry when fulfilling your dreams or protecting what you love. Learning new things and training your skills is stressful, but it pushes you to pay attention and care for your loved ones, drawing you closer. How you deal with stress shapes your picture of the world and self-perception. Accordingly, never avoid or fear it. Learn to listen to it, use it for good, and trust your reactions. Try this. Take some time to reflect on the following. Think about the opportunities you missed due to fear of stress. What did you give up on, deciding it was too energy-consuming and challenging? What would your life be like if you dared to take what you wanted? Consider what stress avoidance methods you use to numb your anxiety. Are they reasonable, or do you have destructive coping mechanisms? Imagine what you would like to achieve and how you see your life without the overwhelming fear of stress. Is the game worth the candle?